on this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly, a Wildcat you should know, and the Robotics Club. All this and more coming up next. Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'm your host, Sam Drake. Nequa has many talented students, but one stands out among the rest. Christine looks into a Wildcat you should know.
When senior Eric Mitchell was a sophomore, he won first place at the state gymnastics meet. Due to injuries, he had to take a break, but soon found a new passion: cheerleading.
I literally didn't think about it until Mr. McGee asked me, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, I could probably do this.
Although the sports have many similarities, Eric has found many differences while being a part of the cheer team.
I really like the team aspect of it because as a gymnast, even though we were a team, everything was so individual. And so it's like you have to rely on not only yourself, but everyone else.
Traditionally, having a male on a cheer team would change many things for the team as a whole. But for Nequa Cheer, that's not the case.
We are still technically like a large girl varsity team, so we aren't in a co-ed division, which is can be a lot more difficult. And I'm sure everyone noticed that I was at the football games and basketball games shaking my palms. I was so difficult about getting palms, but I was like, this is my last year being able to do it. I don't want to sit there with a megaphone.
Along with recently finding his passion for cheer, Eric also found a new hobby in the apparel construction room just last year.
My friend Annalise actually kind of introduced me to it. I was really interested in fashion and stuff, so I added that to my schedule, and so then I took it last year with her and then this year.
During his time in the apparel construction class, Eric has completed many projects he is proud of, including dresses, joggers, and sweatshirts.
My favorite project has probably been this tweed wool coat that I made. I think once it was finished, it was really professional looking, and I was really proud of how it turned out.
There are several obstacles Eric faces while making such successful projects.
Most hardships include seam ripping and then just being confused a lot because I'm really bad at reading directions and I don't like to.
Although Eric does not plan on pursuing fashion as a career, he is intending to keep apparel construction as a hobby throughout his life. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Christine Corbin.
A former Nequa graduate has just been elected into Congress. Ashley takes a look into Lauren Underwood's story.
A former Nequa graduate, Lauren Underwood, has just been elected as the youngest black congresswoman for our district.
Well, after serving in the Obama administration, I returned home to Illinois to work for a Medicaid managed care company in Chicago and attended our representative's one and only public event of 2017. And it was a question and answer session over in St. Charles, and he made a promise about protecting health care coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. And that promise was important to me. I worked on the Affordable Care Act, I've taken care of patients, and I have a pre-existing condition myself, so it was personal. And when he made that promise, I believed him. And then he voted for the American Health Care Act, which is the version of repeal that did the opposite, made it cost prohibitive for people like me to be able to get insurance coverage. I got really upset and decided, you know what, it's on, I'm running.
As a previously registered nurse, she has used some of those same skills to grow as a politician.
Well, in running for Congress, it's the same thing. You have to look into someone's eyes, a voter's eyes, and listen while they share really intimate or vulnerable details about their lives. And it's the same skill set, connecting with the voters as it is connecting with patients. There's so much that goes on in the Congress that impacts all of us. And our voices as millennials, Generation Z, have been so left out of the conversation for too long, and so I'm honored to have the opportunity to raise some of these issues and lead in the conversations.
Being a former Wildcat, Lauren Underwood gives us some words of wisdom moving forward.
I'm so proud to be a Nequa Valley Wildcat, and am really enjoy the opportunity to come back to this school during the campaign, but then also to have so many Wildcats and alums involved, and I'm really looking forward to representing all of us in the Congress. And so as you all have ideas, please reach out to my office. Would love to see all of you in DC and give you a tour of the Capitol, and looking forward to continuing the conversation.
Thank you for your pieces of advice, Ms. Underwood. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Ashley Pope.
Nequa Robotics team is off to a great start. Connor bolts into the story.
The robotics season is coming together very well. even though they face many challenges ahead of them in the rest of their year.
One really big challenge is just making sure that we have enough time and planning out all the things that we want to do. Obviously, for our first tournament, we had a plan and we didn't quite pull it off so well, but we were still able to get some awards.
With the team fighting together and getting around their adversities first, they fight to be the best among the rest, with many of their goals in front of them. With a good team effort and all their experiences growing, their future goals keep coming closer and closer to becoming reality.
The goals are consistent with what it's always been, is that we have a lot of very talented students, and they're qualifying for the state tournament, national tournament, world tournament, hopefully, and we want to keep that tradition going.
With the traditional robotics to keep on winning and always have a great attitude, the team of all grade levels works every day to become the best team in the conference and hopefully the state. Make sure to come out to their tournament, and for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Connor Burns.
Nequa gives juniors an opportunity to step up and become a leader. Abby looks into what PE Leaders is all about.
PE Leaders is a program here at Nequa that gives students the opportunity to lead a sophomore or freshman PE class, but first they must spend their junior year preparing.
So junior year, the students spend the entire year working on building relationships with one another and team building and learning how to write lesson plans and teach the class and officiating and really just stepping out of their comfort zone and learning how to get up in front of a group of people and feel comfortable leading and taking charge of an activity. And then senior year, they get to use those leadership skills as a teacher's assistant in either a freshman or sophomore class.
This class is much different from other PE classes that you would normally take.
You don't know like everyone going into it, but like within a week you already know everyone and like your friends, and it's like different. It's not like you sign up for dance or like APF where you like lift weights. You like do different units and like you work together and teach groups.
Like first, I think you need to be like a pretty good leader. Like that has to be like one of your like natural skills. But then you also have to be a good people person, and you have to just be kind overall because the classroom has pretty positive vibes.
If you are a sophomore interested in applying, make sure to check out nvhspe.com and submit your application by January 24th. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Abby Stankus.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. Have a great weekend, Wildcats.
I'm never